It's time to build your basic home circuit number 8. So what you should have is your wall section that you've already used, and you're going to have an outlet on one side and you're going to have a light on the other. I'm not too fussy about the location of these two fixtures. I'm fussy about, did you put them in correctly? Are you wiring correct? So we're going to start by just putting these in. I want you to see these two knobs right here. They hit your studs. So the way that I usually put these in is you've got to hold them tight. And we're going to put them in with torque screws. So anywhere up in this zone is fine. Make sure you have these against the wall side. Those little... And then this is going to hold like that. Other side. Make sure you're going through all those. So now it's secured onto the wall. While we're at it, I'm going to go ahead and put on the one on this side as well. So I'm just going to flip this around. Make sure these tabs are on the inside. Use torque screws again. One and two. Don't over tighten these, otherwise you'll just break the plastic. Okay, here we go. It doesn't matter which one of these is which, because it's just basically backwards. So what we're going to do is we're going to install a switch here, and we're going to be putting a lighting fixture in on this side. Let's talk about the switch first. That one will probably be the toughest to wire up. So I need to get a length of wire. This is going to be connecting my two circuits. This piece is not long enough. So a lot of times it helps me to measure. Usually we need about 6 inches to come out of the box, so I can figure an extra 6 or 7 there. Plus I need to get over to this box, so maybe 16 to get over to the box. I don't typically run it diagonals through walls, so I typically run straight across, and then I'll run down. So I'm going to go 11 over, I'm going to go 9 down, so I got 20 inches there, plus another 6 or 7 out of the box. So I'm going to need about a 30, 35 inch piece of wire, so I can go cut that from a roll. I have this piece, but it is not going to be long enough. So I'm going to pause the video, and I'm going to go get myself a piece of wire. Since my wire needs to go through this wall, I need a 1/2 inch hole through here, and I need to come out the other side over here. So the easiest way to do this for me is I kind of set it like this, and I use some of the force from my body to kind of go through. So I'm just going to push on this. And reverse out. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my hole over here while I'm at it. So I'm going to put the hole on this side, so I have both holes. That'll make a little mess on your table. I'm just going to sweep that off to the side for now. Alright, so here's what it looks like. I'm going to run up into this box so I'm going to stick up about that far out of that box. I'm going to thread my wire through that hole, through this hole, okay, there we go. Actually, I think I'm going to come in this first hole. Make it a little bit easier. Alright, looks good. Got enough wire up here to deal with, and I've got enough wire over here sticking out. So one of the things that the Missouri Electrical Code tells us is that we need, within the first 8 inches of an electrical box, we need to have a staple. So this staple simply holds the wire in place, and it makes sure that it can't be pulled out or fall out. So the easiest way to do it, just set it. And you don't need to wail on it. Okay, so now I've got this wire secured. I've got it coming out over here. So now I need to make sure it comes up through this fixture. All right, and I'm going to need another wire staple over here, so I can go ahead and put that in now. So now I have my wire secured. Next thing I knew, I need to basically strip. So I'm going to cut right in there. And I'm going to expose these wires because I'm going to need them for when I build my circuit. I'm going to cut this off. You're not going to need this red, so you could either pull it out or you can just tuck it back in there. You're going to need your neutral, your white, and your black though. So I'm going to go ahead and strip these with my wire strippers. About a 1/2 inch will do. So you don't need to strip the whole wire, it's just really that last 1/2 inch. And then I usually use the front part to put a hook in there. Silver, white always goes to silver, black always goes to gold. You can see the silver are out of this fixture, out of here. So I don't want to use this. I'm going to go get one that has all the correct screws in it. So I'm going to go to this bottom receptacle. I'm going to hook it around, and then I'm going to get a hand-driven screwdriver. I'm not going to use a drill for this. This should be very snug. In this same place, I'm going to attach my black to my gold. I'm going to hook it around there. I'm going to hold it in place. I'm going to tighten it. Now, this is my neutral. My neutral needs to go over that green right there. Sorry, this is my ground. I said neutral. So over you go. Being a little fussy. Whoops. I want to make sure that stays in there. Sometimes I can hold it with my thumb. There we go. Alright, so we've got those 3 connections in. We're also going to need a plug. So this is what a plug looks like. I don't like these wires at the end. They're a little bit wonky. So I'm going to just straighten them out a little bit. So they need to then be attached to this. So up they go in through the outlet. I'm just going to cut them. Makes it easier for me to put them up into the outlet. Okay, we don't need to secure this outlet. But we do need to strip this wire. So we're going to take off some of that sheet. Pull that back. Cut that off. There's your 3 wires. Strip. Strip. And hook. hook. And I'll show you what to do with your neutral wire. So white goes to white. Black goes to gold. There we go. All right. This is ready to go down. So I need to kind of tuck my wires in. I'm going to put my outlet going the right way. And this is what a typical outlet box is, though. You just have to, oh, I didn't deal with my neutral. This second neutral wire, or the second ground, sorry, it can just be twisted around the wire of this first one. It doesn't have to both go on here. It can just be twisted around to make its contact. And then I'm going to push this down onto here. There we go. Just like that. Now I've got myself a couple outlet screws. Screw over the outlet. Get them started usually. And I usually get them started with a Phillips head within my drill, and finish them off with a hand screwdriver. So I go most of the way there. Okay. The reason I don't want to do the rest of it is I can't really feel how tight it is with the electric drill. So I want to use my hands to get that tightness down. I'm also going to need a wall cover on this. That keeps the electricity safe and out of harm's way. So you'll need a flathead for this, or blade screwdriver to get that all the way in. Okay, so here's what I'm looking at right now. I've got this outlet in. I need to just put on my wall plate. And I've got power running over to, this is where I'm going to be putting my light. So that's where we're at right now. So I'll set my camera up right here. And we'll tackle this lighting fixture. As you can see, my wire sticks out quite a bit. So I'm going to come up about this far out of that box. Got a little bit too much there. And then I'm going to trim this the same way I did. Notice on my blade, it's never going to go towards me. No matter, if I slip when I cut this, I'm just slipping into nothing. Which is good, because I don't want to get cut by this. Again, you got an extra wire in here. I usually just fold, if I have an extra wire, I can just fold it down. There's no electricity running to it. It has no danger of causing a fire because it's just an empty wire. I usually cut this junk off. Okay, now I'm going to strip my wires. And strip my wire. And then put my hooks. Hooks. Here's my fixture right here. There is no spot for my ground to go, so I'm just going to bend it out inside. I'm going to hook I could go, the black one could go into either one of these. It doesn't matter, it's all connected. And I'm definitely going to use my hand screwdriver to tighten that down. Here's my white. Over silver. Tighten that down. All right. So notice that I don't have a circular box on here. You of course can use a circular box, but it doesn't need to be, because the holes line up on both of these. So you can see my holes, they line up perfectly. So I'll get my outlet screws, start that one, start it by hand. Don't go all the way down with the electric. You'll just crash the plastic. And I'll do the rest by hand. It's still a little bit wiggly. There we go. No cracks. Okay, so I basically got that hooked up. I have my wire staple there. I'm going to be checking for your wire staple. You're going to run through the wall. You're going to run through the other outlet that is then tied into the plug. We're going to put this cap on. So now I've got this cap screwed on. This is now ready for testing. I only have one light bulb in class because I don't want students plugging in this 110. If it's going to short out, I want to do it as a teacher. So it's time to bring this to me and we're going to test it together.